Hey there friends, my name is Tim Lee. Welcome to Legacy Studio. I'm keeping my voice down because it's super late. My wife is asleep in the other room. But I wanted to quickly show you this illustration that I did today. Just enjoyed doing it on the fly instead of working on client artwork. And I thought I'd walk through the start to finish of what I drew. Since I forgot to record time-lapse, I was thinking I would record it and never even hit the record button. So I figured I would walk through the process of what I did and just keep it light and fun. And I'm sure sounding this quiet at this point is probably very Bob Ross-like. So maybe you'll enjoy it. But I'll try my best to talk through my experience of what I did. I was watching Markiplier and enjoying his videos. He's very foul, just to warn you, but he's very, very funny. So if you enjoy that sort of gaming kind of thing and you're okay with a little foul language or a lot of foul language, he's pretty hilarious. And I felt inspired to try and draw him up. So I started first with a general, very, very rough sketch. And I've really been trying to learn to push proportion a lot more recently, taking the Broco classes, taking classes from so many different resources, watching Tom Richmond from Mad Magazine, and so much more. And I've just learned how to try and push things a bit more, and it's been a ton of fun. So as you can see, the very first rough sketch here doesn't look like Markiplier, but at the same time, it does have the step in the right direction, so I was feeling pretty good about that. From there, I added a layer on top of it, and I began building in the muscle that we all know that Markiplier has, trying to finalize things. If I turn off my other sketch layer, you can see it's really beginning to take that Markiplier shape. Maybe not perfectly, but there's definitely a lot more to the sketch that's beginning to feel much more Markiplier-ish. And like I said, this is where unfortunately I wish I had recorded and I did not. From there, I added in my inks. I used a brush that I downloaded through Clip Studio Paint Pro. I actually really enjoy it. I set it at 100% stabilization because I'm a cheater, and I went to town on the inking, really going with really, really thick lines. And another thing I did was I actually did the inks in like a blue. It doesn't matter to me how I ink the lines as long as they come out clean. Whatever color I use, I can change that in post. And as you can kind of see through some of this drawing here, the nose and some of the parts in the face are actually not black outlined. They're an off tone. They might be slightly purple, slightly brown. For this piece, and I don't usually do this very often, I decided to color my outlines and give them some tone and hue to kind of add to the caricature. So from there, then I started adding in my skin tones, just roughed in a really basic skin tone for his face, going for something that was a little too dark and a little too saturated, and then I was going to paint over top to fill in the excess. Went right in immediately with some shadows. I used purple, and that purple, by the way, I make a mask of the layer with the color. That way I don't color outside the lines and I can work rather quickly. I just grabbed a purple, blackish purple tone. I can actually show it to you really quick if I switch this to normal and put it at full blast. Actually, it's a very rich purple. I didn't notice at the moment because what I do is I switch the layer to multiply and I drop my opacity until it feels natural. You can get away with a lot of different colors doing this technique. And it's something I've taught for years here on Draw Too Much. So continuing on from there, let's go ahead and show you some highlights. These highlights I just put in with a slightly lighter tone than the skin tone. Just selecting the skin tone and raising it up a little bit really helped give that effect. I don't know if I stuck with it, but we'll see here as I continue forward, because I did make a lot of changes to come up with the final effect, and certain ones I decided just to get rid of because I wanted to give kind of like a computer screen look, like shining on one side of his face and a lot of shadow on the other. I almost like this more, but let's keep moving forward and see what happens. For now, I'll turn that highlight off. I added some redness to the face just to give some blush to the cheeks and to the nose, areas where blood rushes into the skin. Really helps bring things to life. Colored up the hair, and also at the same time did the headphones, and I'm looking for my headphone layer here so we can just see that all colored in. From there, I began adding the blue to the one side of the face where I wanted to make it look like a screen was on him. In the video that I was watching of him, he had a blue background behind him, and it wasn't casting on his face, but I liked the idea of doing that. So this blue, I believe, is actually a add glow layer set at 23%. If we crank it, you'll see that that blue really intensifies, and it's a really, really cool look. But with what I was trying to do, I just wanted it to be a very gentle glow, and like I said, I set that layer to add glow to make that effect. Otherwise, it would have just turned out a very, very intense blue, which doesn't quite work. So if you're ever unsure, just scroll through, try a couple different layer properties, and see if one of them kind of gives you the effect you're going for. From there, then I believe I added the shadow side here. Same idea, more rich purple or calmed purple with some black tone to it. This is actually set at 64%. I used an airbrush to put it in there, so it just put it in there very lightly. I like putting in hard shadows, but then I try to douse in some soft shadows with some airbrushing in the same process. For the other highlight here, and this is the highlight I ended up going with, this is simply a layer copied off the other layers, cleared everything off of it, so it just used the mask that I had from the other layers, and from there I applied our effect. Let me turn down my add glow layer here. So this effect was simply a brush, and I believe that that airbrush simply had a, was it a brush or the layer? Oh no, it was the layer. So I just did a brighter skin tone, and then I used add glow to really start to pop in that tone. This is a technique that a lot of comic artists use, and that's what I ended up doing here to really build up that tone of the face. It turned out really, really nice. Next to that, let me see, nothing in that layer as far as I can tell. Let me check this next one. Okay, that one's just popping some white in the eyes. I didn't go all out like I usually do to get the white in the eyes and intensify things. And then I think that about covers it, actually. Now we can see that that other layer that I had is just a bit too intense, so I lift that one off. There's a lot more that I could do with this, but I was just keeping it simple, and that is my sketch of Markiplier. If you did enjoy this, then do me a favor and hit that like button for me so more people can see it. If you want to, even head over and tell Markiplier that Tim did a drawing of him, why not? And of course, if you have another YouTuber that you would like to see me try to draw a caricature of, don't be afraid to mention them down below. And we'll just have fun here and there. I'm doing these for fun in between doing some pretty big jobs. Like right here is a job that I'm working on at the moment that I'm very, very proud of. I have recorded a lot of the process of this caricature, and I do intend to share that with you at the point in time that I finish it. But this has a lot more to go, and we've made some really good progress on it. And like I said, I did record the whole process of drawing it up until now, so I look forward to sharing that with you here on the channel. If you're excited for that, make sure to let me know in the comments. Alright, God bless you, my friends. I'll see you next time right here on Draw Too Much, and thank you so much for also checking out my other channels, Legacy Studio, where I do gameplay. I am playing games, believe it or not, and also doing tech reviews over there. You can go to Dorka, D-O-R-K-A, where I produce music and I teach music technique. And then also you can go to the Rocky Mountain Collective, where I do stand-up comedy, believe it or not. So go check out all those different resources. There's a ton of different channels that I just love investing my life in, and I want to thank you so much for joining me right here on Draw Too Much. I'll see you next time, my friends. Bye.